am Megan.
And I'm Emma.
We're good. And welcome back to the Sassy Besties Podcast. In today's video, we are going to be reviewing Ward D. We finished this book, what was it, a few weeks ago. I don't even know. It is July. It's mega July. And we have so much to say, and we are determined to do much better on this review. We have it. We have all the notes, and we know what we're doing. Do you want to start with your high and low of the week?
Sure. My high of the week is that I'm on vacation next week.
Oh, yes, you are. And I'm going to say it for you. Vacation is the best.
Yes, I'm excited, and hopefully it'll be productive and then relaxing.
Oh, yes.
So my low of the week would probably just be the temperature in the heat, humidity outside, because it makes working very challenging. And it's just hot, and I don't want to do anything.
I don't get that, because I thought you love the hot weather. I on my Instagram stories are posting like two things about like the fall and the winter. I mean fall and Christmas or whatever. That time of year. And you like comment being like stop. But like I don't understand, because like half the time you're like I love the summer, but then you're like it's too hot. I don't get it.
So I don't like when it's 100 degrees outside. That's too hot. That's too much. But a good 85, yes, perfect.
85? I would say that's all too warm. Maybe a 70?
Okay. Too low. I mean, 70 I'm okay with. I'm not, like, mad about it, but
yeah.
I don't know.
My high and low, I would say my low. What is my low? I mean, it's been a good week. Well, today, my TikTok video that I was talking about last week, I think, has officially hit 1 million views on TikTok. And I have kind of stopped looking at the comments, because it's like at a certain point, it's not like good for your mental health. Like it's the same comments. You just like get over it. How many comments? Like when you already seen someone say this, like, oh, she sounds like she's saying papa. Like, like you don't need to say it again. Well, actually, thank you for saying it again, because the more comments, the better. But I was saying purple, and then I just made a Instagram reel being like, because I'll get comments being like, oh no, why am I here? Like, I'm on the one side of Instagram. I'm just like, do you know how the algorithm works? You don't
comment on it. Ridiculous.
I can't with people. It's honestly hilarious. Anyway, I can't even say my low. I don't know what my low is. I'm almost done with the Joe Burrow show. Let me just tell you. The quarterback season 2. I'm almost done. I'm sad, but I'm also happy that it's forever on Netflix. Well, I can watch it again and again. My high! I started the book. I don't have it with me, but I started a book called Verity.
Verity.
Yes, that book. And it is so good. I told Emma my theories of what happened, what I think will happen, and she said she had the same theory. So now I'm just like, well, that's not right. It's too obvious. I know. It's like the most obvious. Like what? What's gonna happen?
I want you to know that just because I said that I also had the same theory doesn't mean that it's right or wrong.
You could be right.
I'm not telling you.
Maybe I'm right. I don't know. I don't know. Another part of me thinks, okay, wait. I I shouldn't talk too much about this because we have another book we're talking about today. But yeah, I guess long story short, I'm really enjoying the book, and maybe I'll say an update after I finish it in a future episode on our podcast.
All right. Do you want to move on to our songs of the week?
Yes. Let's do that.
Okay. Really quickly. Mine is Paul Revere by Noah Kahn.
Oh, I actually know that artist!
Yeah! You finally know something that I listened to.
I don't know my song.
Yeah. What about yours?
Oh, I thought you had more to say. My song, there was a few songs I was listening to more this week. It's funny, there was a Taylor Swift song called My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. There is first demo of that song that she released, and I been listening to it. I know that's the weirdest thing. So it's actually not the final version of the song, but it's a slow down version with a few different lyrics. So maybe that will be my song of the week.
Perfect.
Now we are ready to get into our book, Word D. Let's do it. We got this.
So a quick summary about Word D is that Amy, the main character, is spending one night in the psych ward overnight, and she has never done this before, and she is very scared and anxious, and we will see what is gonna unravel.
Awesome! Yes! And the book it goes back and forth between two different timelines. So it goes back and forth between Amy being in Ward D, and also, I believe, 8 years earlier when Amy and her best friend Zay is in high school. And we'll talk about what is going on in that period of Amy's life. And there's also a bunch of other characters we'll be talking about that are patients, are also the doctor that is in charge of Ward D for the night, and also the nurse. There's a lot of characters in this book, but the main character I would say is definitely Amy.
So to start off, Amy and Jade are best friends, and Amy has been to Ward D previously, not as a patient, but to visit a friend. And this said friend that she went to go visit said that Amy should be in the ward, not this friend. We don't know who this friend is yet, but this friend thinks that the roles should be reversed. And then there's a little snippet about Amy seeing a little girl, and the little girl is always described in a pink puffy jacket. Do we know, are other people seeing this little girl?
Yeah, wasn't it the first time was at a mall? They was shopping, I believe. Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, and this little girl told Amy to steal some things from the store. Then, going into the now, Amy is going up the elevator into Ward D, and she meets Cameron there. She had no idea she was going to be working this shift with Cameron. She thought it was going to be someone else, and Cameron is her ex-boyfriend. And then they exit on to Ward D.
We go back 8 years earlier, and the same girl that she saw at the store before, she sees again at her high school, and now we believe that Amy is the only one that can see this girl. And then we go back to present time days when she is now going to be spending the night on Ward D and with Cameron. She's given the code to enter the ward or to leave the ward, and that's the only way you can leave. So it's very important she remembers it. Then once she gets into Ward D, she believes through like cracks she sees a patient that she recognizes. Now Cameron and Amy are told by Dr. Beck that they need to pick a patient to oversee, and she sees a name that is familiar, and the name is Carpenter, which is the last name to her best friend named Zane. So she's like, oh my goodness, she's here. Why is she here? And then she wants so badly to like pick her, but then she's like, I don't know, like she wants to look and see why she, is here again, but she knows she can't do it. It's like off rules. You can't pick people and have like past relationships with or whatever. So she ends up picking someone else who is named Will. And then Cameron picks a guy who is nicknamed Spider Dan.
And then Amy talks to a patient named Will, and he is a schizophrenic, but he's on medication, so he doesn't hear voices anymore. Amy is a little bit sketched out by him, doesn't fully believe him, and she thinks that he's just lying about something, not too sure what it is. And then we learn that it is actually Jade in that room that she felt the eyes looking at her. And Jade says to Amy, too bad you had to destroy my life to get there, meaning becoming a medical student. And then Amy thinks to herself, I thought maybe after all these years Jade would have forgotten what happened. Well, not forgotten, but maybe look at us with a little more perspective, maybe realizing that I didn't do what I did to ruin her life, that I didn't have a choice. So we have no idea what this is. We have no idea what happened. We have theories running through our brains, but all that I have written down is like, what happened? What did Amy do? What is going on?
I know what made say like go in to Ward D in the first place, like years ago. I don't know if I had any theories. I was just like, I want to know why. But yeah the reason, we'll get to it, is actually really crazy. So, going back to 8 years earlier, Amy is studying for trigonometry. This is like a big part of like the earlier chapters. Amy is not the best at math, but Zay is. So Amy really wants Zay to help her, and she really wants to pass trigonometry because she has big dreams. She wants to become a doctor, and she's kind of like getting stressed out about it. And I just want to say really fast, I love trigonometry, okay? I love it so much. The unit circle is everything. Anyway, back to the story. So she is in her room studying for trigonometry, and she sees the Leah girl again. And now she's like, the Leah girl is not just there, she's speaking to Amy saying, you're gonna fail this test. And Amy's like, you're wrong, like, I'm gonna do fine, like, I don't know what you're talking about. So this Leah girl is coming up time and time again.
Now that the little girl has spoken to Amy, Megan and I have kind of theorized that she might be schizophrenic. We don't really know.
We did find out, though, that Zane was diagnosed with bipolar, and also her mother has that as well.
If you guys don't know what bipolar is, it is when you have like really high manic episodes, like I can fly, I am the best person on earth, and nobody can stop me. I can literally, they think that they can do everything, like they can conquer the world. And then they get really, really low, so they get like suicidal and really depressed and sad. And those can happen in hours, days, who knows? Just so you know.
Yeah. Thank you for the explanation.
All right, so Spider Dan, the patient that Cameron is watching over, is talking to both Amy and Cameron, and he says that Sawyer, another patient, this patient is in the seclusion room.
Are you just coming up the volume? Sorry.
A seclusion room is when they are locked in the room because of how patients interact with others, such as physically, like, assaulting other people. So,
yeah.
But we don't know why he's in the seclusion room yet. But Spider Dan tells Cameron and Amy that Sawyer told him that he's going to kill everyone tonight. We have no idea any other information, but we also learned... we also learned that Amy and Cameron did date for a short time, but Cameron dumped her. And then Sawyer, who is in seclusion 1, he is running into the walls and he has thrown himself into the doors and just being absolutely crazy. And Dr. Burke tells Amy that he's going to be leaving the next morning because they cannot fulfill his needs and they don't have anything else they can do to assist with him. So this goes back 8 years earlier, and Jade and Amy planned on studying for their trigonometry test, but Jade forgot her book in the classroom, and she gets into the classroom by asking a janitor to unlock the door, and she didn't forget her book. She wanted to get into the classroom to steal a test so she could get all of the answers and give them to Amy so she could help Amy passed the test, and Amy said no, she does not want to do this. She wants to learn how to actually do it. She doesn't just want to cheat her way through high school.
Good for her! Good for her!
As she should.
I know! That's crazy. So, going back to present day, on the ward, Amy is now talking to Zayd, and Zayd asks her if she saw things. Amy denies all of that. Then the power goes out, and now Amy is worried that the seclusion room can get unlocked now that the power is out, and she's freaking out. Then Amy sees a patient, Miguel, and he has no clothes on. He has blood all over him. Now Amy's really freaking out, and Miguel is on his way to the nurse's station. Oh, and then another important note is Cameron, or Cam, whatever you want to say, he is, like, nowhere to be found. He pretty much disappeared, and Amy can't find him. And Amy is wondering, where is he? But one thing we find out is Miguel actually was not covering blood, he was covering jelly. And since the power went out, it was hard to tell. So back to 8 years earlier, Zayd goes to Amy's house with a test with all the answers, and Zayd wants Amy to look at it, but Amy's saying, I'm not going to do it. No way. But she's definitely tempted to do it, and then she sees the girl again, and she's telling Amy, you're gonna fail. You better look at the test. You're gonna fail this test. But then Amy decided to crumple up the test and throw it into the trash.
Amy thinks that Cameron must have just left the unit, and he'll just be back soon. Maybe he went for a breather outside or something. And then Amy tries to take a little nap in the in an empty patient room, but
wait, finish your thought. I'll guess after you're done talking about the nap, I'm gonna say something. Well, I'm gonna say it at the end, but I'm just gonna say a quick note. Like, anyway.
Amy tries to take a little nap in an empty patient room, but she's not able to, and she remembers that Will, one of the patients, has some books that she likes because it's an author, that she enjoys. So she goes in there to ask him if she can borrow one of the books, and he's actually in the bathroom, so she just like goes to like look in the books, and one of the books is hollowed out, and there's a bunch of pills in there. So he hasn't been taking his pills.
Amazing.
So Amy's worried that like he's hearing voices again, and we don't know.
I was just gonna say, so after we're done giving a summary, I want to just talk a little briefly about the whole thing about taking naps, because I know there was a lot of complaints about that you can't do that in real life on like a real ward unit, and I have a really good point to make.
Okay.
About that.
Okay, I wrote it down so we'll remember.
Thank you.
And Amy goes to tell Dr. Beck that she found this hollowed out book with some of Will's pills, and just something to remember is that there was some noises going on in Dr. Beck's office. Seems a little weird. And then Cameron also left a message on Dr. Beck's phone saying that he had an emergency and he had to leave. And Amy thought this was a little weird. Like, why would she call Dr. Beck and not just her? But then she was like, well, we don't have service in the ward, so it kind of makes sense to call him because it's the office phone. So who knows? Jade was standing outside of the door hearing this whole conversation between Amy and Dr. Beck, and now Jade is pissed at Amy for telling Dr. Beck anything about the medicine, and Jade then kind of throws this at Amy and says, like, I can tell Dr. Beck that you used to hallucinate, but Amy keeps denying that she saw anything to begin with. So it's kind of like in the air. I was a little bit confused at this point in the book. Like, does Amy actually see things? Was this just like, I don't know. Like, does she actually see things? Is it just Jade telling us that she hallucinates?
Yeah. I was like, I don't know, at a certain point, it's like, I don't know, something is going on. Obviously, something is going on. So, Amy then sees blood coming out of one of the seclusion rooms, and she freaks out, and she goes directly to Dr. Beck, telling him about the blood, but she also realized, like, the last thing she saw was actually not blood, so she's not sure if Dr. Beck is gonna believe her, but she definitely believes that she saw blood this time. Going back 8 years earlier, Amy and Zay are spoken to by their teacher because they got talk. The janitor told the teacher that he left 2 girls into the classroom, and based on their yearbook, they were able to piece everything together, and the teacher knew it was them. Since Amy kept seeing the little girl, she started to get worried, and she looked it up what that means, and then she kind of got freaked out and was like, I may have schizophrenia, and how that may affect her future and her dreams of being a doctor, and she got really, like, scared and everything. So, while Amy is talking to Dr. Beck about seeing the blood, Zayd is hearing everything about that. And then Zayd calls Amy out and said, you didn't see blood, you're just hallucinating. There's no way there was ever blood there. Oh, and I'm just realizing that is very interesting knowing how this book ends. But yeah, that was... Then Amy goes to the staff lounge, and Will is there, and Will, like, scare her a little bit because Amy was not expecting him, Will put his hand over Amy's mouth and was like, I need to talk to you. I saw the blood too. And this is interesting because
Will is schizophrenic. So
now we are wondering if Will also hallucinated just like Amy. Or is it actually real? We'll find out. Will also said that he heard the noises as well. So they're both saying they heard the noises and they saw the blood. So now it's really about, is this true or not? Or are they hallucinating?
So now Ramona the nurse ended up cleaning the blood from one of the seclusion rooms, but Ramona says that it wasn't blood, it was strawberry jelly. And when Amy brought Dr. Beck to show him, Ramona already cleaned it up. So it kind of looks weird on Amy's part because she's like, I saw this, I know I did. But Dr. Beck came, looked, and it wasn't there.
Yeah. Because Amy can't find Cameron, she decided she's going to leave Woody and see if she can find Cameron, because she knows she can always get back. But when she tried to type in the code, it doesn't work.
Spider Dan says that Sawyer is looking for Amy, and he's not in Seclusion 1 anymore. Mary is another patient. She is screaming her brains out. And Amy wants to go check on Mary after the screaming episode, but Ramona asks to just leave Mary alone. Ramona's the nurse. Amy ends up looking anyways, and Mary is gone. Nowhere to be seen. Will's standing in the door, and then Will then closes both of them inside of the room. So Amy and Will are in the room together. And Will tells Amy that he's a reporter, he lied about being a schizophrenic, and he got into Ward D because someone reported to him that there's been terrifying and terrible conditions, so he wanted to do a report on it.
Oh yeah, yeah. And Zay told Amy that she's taking Will. And there was a few things that made Amy think this, because, like, Will put his, like, arm around Zay or something like that, hand or whatever, and then Will went into her room and just things like that kind of made Amy believe that they were dating, and then Zay said and...
So going back 8 years earlier, Jade brings Amy to the teacher's house, and she has him tied up and said that they are going to kill him and make it look like it was a burglar. Jade tells Amy that if she doesn't help her, she's going to tell everybody that she is hallucinating.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Crazy. That part with the teacher, I'm so stupid. When she, like, goes, Zay takes Amy to the house, I didn't even think that it was the teacher house. Okay, it was literally, like, I was like, whose house? Like, duh, am I, like, that stupid? Like, yes.
But Amy ran away, took the truck, and drove back to her house, told her mom everything other than her seeing the little girl. So she told her mom about Jade stealing the test, Jade doing it for her, giving her the answers, all that shindig.
Zay knocks on Will's door, and Amy is in Will's room, and Zay wants to talk to Amy outside, so Amy goes outside with Zay, and told her to not listen to Will, because Will had told Amy that they were not dating, and that Zay was lying, but Zay is telling Amy that they have been dating for 3 years, and now it's like back and forth. Who do you believe? The nurse Ramona took Amy to Mary's room and showed her that there was blood everywhere and that Mary was stabbed. Meanwhile, Dr. Beck and Ramona are going to Will's room, and they gave him a shock sedative, and that knocked him out.
Amy believes that Sawyer is on the loose in Ward D because they lost power. They think he got out of Seclusion 1, and she thinks he's on the loose.
Oh, and also because they haven't heard any noises, so they're also very suspicious about that. But we find out that Zane's boyfriend is not Will. It's not. It is actually Sawyer. So Amy goes to Dr. Beck to tell him all of her concerns about the lock not working and Sawyer being out. And Dr. Beck, he goes to look into it, but he ends up not coming back. And then Amy gets a text message. So all this time she was trying to get service, but there was no service. But she finally got service on her phone, and she got a text from her friend Gabby, who is another medical student. But yeah, she's not a main character in this. But I guess this is important. But she basically says, isn't Dr. Beck amazing? He been doing this for 50 years. And Amy's like, oh no, because Dr. Beck is only in his 30s. That means Dr. Beck is really 80 or something. Something's not adding up. The Dr. Beck she's talking to is not actually Dr. Beck.
Dun dun dun! Amy pours water on the light switch, and she remembers that the door makes a loud noise if someone leaves. So if Cameron left the ward, then she would have heard the loud noise. And then Amy goes to look in Seclusion 1, and there is blood everywhere. 4 dead bodies, Cam, Mary, and 2 other people that she has no idea who they are. Dr. Beck says that he had to hit Cameron twice on the head to knock him out. But Dr. Beck said if Amy wasn't so curious, she would have gotten out alive. Then he says his name is Sawyer. Dr. Beck is Sawyer, the patient who is supposed to be locked up in Seclusion 1 and who is supposed to be leaving the facility in the morning.
So Zane and Sawyer, as I said, are dating, and they met because Sawyer used to be her mother's drug dealer. Oh, and also one thing you also find out is they actually kill her mother. So you were told she died of an overdose, a drug overdose, but they actually kill her. Also, Ramona, remember the nurse? Her name is actually Nicole, and she is a patient there, which is crazy. She's not actually a nurse. So yeah, they had to kill Mary and Miguel because they were in, or they knew Dr. Beck was not the real Dr. Beck.
Then Sawyer ends up killing Nicole just because she's annoying.
And then what is so crazy is find out is that Zane slipped drugs into Amy drinks way back in high school, and that's why she was seeing the later girl. Meanwhile, Zane and Sawyer plan is to set the whole building on fire, and then Zane is also planning on attacking Amy.
So Jade wants to inject Amy with a syringe, the same medicine that Dr. Beck and Ramona used on Will to kind of calm him down, but Spider Dan throws dental floss at them. Because he's Spider-Man. Spider Dan, obviously, throws dental floss. Jade was trying to get the syringe into Amy's arm. Amy heard and saw the little girl, and she ended up stabbing Jade with the knitting needle that Mary ended up giving to her.
Oh, when they were trying to attack Amy and everyone and trying to burn the building down.
And then someone is at the door of the ward, and that is the locked door that nobody can come in or out of unless you know the code. And Amy yells, saying that they are stuck, and it happens to be the maintenance man, Chuck, and he remembers Amy, that she needed help unlocking her locker. So she knows him, he knows her. So Chuck knows that he can believe her, and Amy is the only one Chuck wants to hear from. Jade and Sawyer go into custody, and EMTs help clear out the rest of the ward, investigating on everything that happened, and Gabby ends up picking Amy up, but Amy doesn't tell Gabby what happened, even though Gabby's kind of like asking, oh, how was your first shift? She's like, okay, and just kind of keeps it really sweet and simple.
Yeah, now we fast forward 1 year later. Amy and Will are dating. Amy check in with Spider Dan every now and then. And Amy sort of sees the later goal, and she is telling Amy to kill Will because every other guy she has dated, it hasn't gone well. So that is very interesting. She's sure seeing the later goal. So, what is that about? Like,
now we can go over theories. You can talk about naps.
There's two things I want to talk about. One was a lot of people were saying there's no way you can ever sleep at a real, like, mental hospital ward D type of thing. And what I have to say about that is, yes, I'm not going to disagree with you. I don't know. I'm not in that field. However, I will say, based on the book, the doctor who was telling Amy to sleep was not the real doctor. So I'm assuming the real doctor would not allow Amy to sleep. But since it was the fake doctor who was actually a patient, he was just telling Amy whatever he wanted. So that's why you needed to read the whole book. Don't be mad that like she wrote it like that. Ugh.
Yes.
Anyway.
I would like to add on to this and say that I have been in this field before. I am no longer, but I have worked at a psych facility, not this drastic, but everybody like was locked in a specific unit. There were seclusion rooms and everything like that. And no, you are not allowed to sleep on the unit. It doesn't matter if you are the overnight shift. It doesn't matter when you are there. You are not allowed to sleep on the unit. And just like Megan said, it's because Dr. Beck wasn't actually the doctor. So he was like, yeah, go sleep. Because then there's less people watching. And then they can get away with more things.
Yeah. Thank you for adding that on. I truly believe the people who are saying that didn't read the whole book. Because then you would understand it. And then another thing I just want to talk about is people are saying, like, this may scare people from getting help. But, like, you need to know what you're getting yourself into when reading. Like, it's a thriller book, of course. Especially horror books, Freida McFadden. Horror books tend to be crazy, so, like, you should know it before getting into it. I just don't understand.
It's also not a real story, so this wouldn't happen. There is literally not one single time where all of the patients would be alone to figure out how to do this, figure out the code, and, no, there's literally no way that this would ever happen. Like, no I promise you that.
I know. But I guess those are Kane's thoughts, yes, after reading it. So, we could go on to our rating of the book. What would you rate this book?
I think I'm gonna give it a 4.5 star rating.
Ooh, that's good for you! I was thinking similar to you, but I think I was gonna do like something so specific. Like it's a 4.75, I think. But I'm like around you, 4.5, 4.75. It's not my favorite. I actually do think I like some other books more than this book. However, it was so good. Like,
yes, I
it was
agree
so
with that,
crazy.
100%.
I love. Yeah, I don't have any favorite characters. The characters, well, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know.
I really like Will's character. Will's character was super fun because it was really cool. Like, at first we thought he was a patient, and now he's a reporter. Can we trust him? Is he dating Jade? Like, it was a wild time. He was one that I was really, like, I didn't know if we could trust him, and he was one, I was just on the fence with him.
Yeah, I can see that. I knew, like, well, I didn't know, but I knew, like, something was going to happen with Will. Like, he was going to be, I don't know. I didn't know what to think, but, yeah. Is there anything else you want to say about the book?
That was it. All right, so let's wrap up this episode. We really appreciate you guys joining. Wherever you are, YouTube, Spotify, like, comment, share, rate.
Oh my life! Thank you!
If there are any other book recommendations you guys would like us to read and review or recommend in general, definitely put that in the comments down below. We have our Instagrams down below if you want to check them out. And yeah, we hope to see you guys in another episode. Bye!
Bye!